If you've been watching this series in order, you'll remember that at the very first installment, I made mention of life purpose and then told you we'd probably go back to that soon. Well, here we are. Today, I want to talk about life purpose, something I've been sort of forced to bring to mind since my diagnosis with cancer. With an uncertain future, I felt it important for me to reflect on what I've accomplished in my life and what I might hope to do with whatever time I have remaining. And I think it's probably a good idea, regardless of your clinical or physical status, to do the same thing from time to time. It's a good way to connect with, what, well, obviously what you've accomplished or what you would wish to do, but spiritually also to get closer to God if you are of the belief, as am I, that we were created for a purpose and that God has in mind for us what that purpose is, although it's up to us to fulfill it if we choose to. That's what free will is all about. So I'm happy to share aspects of what I have discovered to be my life purpose in the hopes it might help you when you reflect and do the same on your own. I've had a bride, Anne, since 1978, and that marriage covenant that we've both been faithful to is a huge part of my life purpose. Not only do I have the opportunity to reflect on the joy of being with Anne all these years, but also to reflect on what we've accomplished together, hopefully, no question about it, definitely under the auspices of God, who really has pretty much established the path that we followed. We were partners with him in the bringing about of four lives, four children that we nourished and raised more or less successfully. I mean, we made some mistakes along the way, but fortunately they were resilient and they all turned out more than well. We're proud of them. They're wonderful adults who in turn found spouses that double the size of our family. And many of those relationships have turned into a new generation of children, seven grandchildren. And when we're all together in one room and I look at the decisions that Ann and I made and how that is now evident in all these new lives and exciting lives together, that is a fulfillment of a huge part of my life purpose. Our friendships, the relationships we have with those that are not blood relatives, that too is a part of my life purpose as I reflect on really one of the most, solid and convincing commandments that God gives us through Jesus, which is to, of course, love the Lord thy God completely, but also to love our neighbors as ourselves. And our neighbors are our brothers and sisters, not just those we befriend, but everybody else. And in my careers, I've had the opportunity to travel the world and make relationships with those brothers and sisters in many cases and in many situations outside of the United States. So cultures that are quite different than our own, I've been open to and had the opportunity to see, first of all, just how fortunate we are in this country to live where we do, where we have profound material and opportunistic advantages over many, many others who live in less desirable circumstances. But they too are God's children, and by meeting them, I, had the opportunity to recognize that, and on some occasions, to aid materially in their well-being. One thing that is not an important part of my life purpose, and indeed I hope not yours, is keeping score of our material accomplishments. Yes, money is nice and it's important to have some, but if that becomes our entire focus, I think we're missing the boat, and hopefully it isn't with you. What it does give us the opportunity to do, besides live comfortably, is also to provide some generosity when it's called for, whether it's within our family or outside our family. If we have the opportunity to, say, aid in a child's education, or in some cases, even to put food on their table, that is a fulfillment of, again, the God-given mandate to love others as ourselves. So take a look at your life purpose. You don't have to do this often. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it. And you certainly don't have to be in any kind of a threatening situation to visit this topic from time to time. But I hope you will find it helpful, and hopefully will see it as an opportunity to reflect on all that you've done well, and perhaps see too those areas that you might tweak a little bit in the interest of really doing a perhaps better job of recognizing, celebrating, and fulfilling your life purpose. Thank you.